In this lecture, we'll learn how we can use the selection control structure and something called tagging to do useful things in our game, specifically to destroy teddy bears in our game. So let's go to Unity and get started doing that. This is the project that we'll start with for this lecture, and I have a teddy bear spawner attached to the main camera object. It's slightly different from the teddy bear spawner we used before, because instead of using 3 separate sprites for the different teddy bears, I actually have 3 different prefabs that I'm spawning instead. So if we look at the code in MonoDevelop, we see that here in the spawn bear method, I'm still generating a random number that's either 0, 1, or 2. And if the prefab number is 0, I'm using a different version of the instantiate method here. This is a generic. We can tell that because we have the less than and the greater than here. So I tell it what I want to instantiate, and I want to instantiate a game object, and I provided the prefab for the game object, the location for the game object, and the rotation for the game object. And quaternion.identity means no rotation. So I've saved prefabs for the yellow, green, and purple teddy bear as fields in the teddy bear spawner, so this just randomly spawns a teddy bear for us every 1 to 2 seconds as before. And you can see that happen here by watching the game view, and we get various prefabs spawned as we go along. Okay, so the point of this lecture is to destroy a teddy bear. So I'm going to mark the purple teddy bear as a teddy bear that is filled with C4. And the way I'm going to mark it is over here in the inspector, I'm going to add a tag to it. As you can see here at the top of the inspector, the purple teddy bear is currently untagged. And if I click this box, I get a list of all the default tags that we get in Unity. And none of those default tags says C4 teddy bear. So I'm going to add a tag. When I do that, I come to this tags and layers pane in the inspector, and the list of tags is empty. The list of custom tags is empty. So all the way over on the right, I'll click the plus that will add a tag. I will say this tag is C4 teddy bear, and I will save. Now, if I select the purple teddy bear again, you'll see that it is still untagged. So I still have to tag it, but now if I click this box, C4 teddy bear is one of the possible tags I can use. So now I've tagged it as a C4 teddy bear. I need to now add a destroyer script, not destroyer of worlds, just destroyer of teddy bears. So I'm going to come over to the scripts folder, and I will right click and I will create a C# script, and I will name that script destroyer. And before I forget, I'm going to attach that destroyer script to the main camera. I'm also going to open it. As usual, here is our default script template. So I'm going to say destroys C4 teddy bears. And I don't need to do anything in the start method, though I am, in fact, going to want to create an explosion when I destroy a C4 teddy bear. So I'm going to add something that I can populate in the inspector. And it will be a game object. And it will be a prefab for an explosion. And we'll talk about that when we get back to the Unity editor. Here in update, what I want to do is look for a C4 teddy bear. And so I have to figure out from the Unity scripting reference how I can look for a game object with a particular tag. Rather than making you wander around the scripting reference looking for it, I will tell you it is in the game object class. And I will scroll down. What I really want is the static functions, and specifically I want the static function that says find with tag. So this returns one active game object tagged tag. And if I click on that, I see that I provide a string for the tag that I'm looking for, and it will return a game object. And it's important that it says that it returns null if no game object was found. So it could be the case that we look for a C4 teddy bear and there happens to not be one of those purple teddy bears in the scene right now, and we need to check for that before we do additional processing within our script. Speaking of our script, here it is. And I'm going to change this comment to say, blow up C4 teddy bear. So, first thing I'm going to do is I will declare a local variable. So this is a variable that's only visible here in the update method. And it's a game object. And then I will call that game object find with tag method. And remember, for static methods, we put the class name, game object with a capital G. And now we need to provide the tag, and that tag was C4 teddy bear. And now we will blow up that teddy bear if we find one. So we have to check if teddy bear not equal null. Then we'll do two things. We'll instantiate an explosion at the location of the teddy bear, and then we will destroy the actual teddy bear object. So we'll instantiate and this is the prefab explosion. And we'll instantiate that explosion right where the teddy bear is. So that is at teddy bear transform position. And again, we won't rotate the explosion, even though that wouldn't really make a difference visually. And then we will destroy the teddy bear. Back in the editor, I have an explosion prefab that I built, and this is an animation of an explosion. And I will say that showing you how to build such a thing is beyond the scope of this lecture. However, I've given you an excerpt from the book as a lecture resource for this lecture that shows you the steps you need to go through to build an animated prefab in Unity. So you can go do that on your own if you'd like to. We can see if we select main camera that this destroyer script that we attached has that field for prefab explosion that has not been populated. So I want to populate that with the explosion prefab. I also realized that I want to do something additional in the script, so we better come back there and do it now. My intention was to actually only blow up a C4 teddy bear every second rather than every frame, because they'll disappear pretty quickly unless we use a timer. So I'm going to add a few more things to this script, and then we'll talk about it once we come back. Okay, so I've added a field for an explode timer, and I added our start method back in because it turns out I need it after all, to add a timer component called explode timer, and set the duration to 1 second and start that timer running. In the update method, I'm going to check for whether or not the timer is finished, and if it is, I'm going to start it running again so I can blow up another teddy bear in a second if I get that opportunity. And then I do the logic to blow up a C4 teddy bear as we discussed. So we'll run the game and hope we get a purple teddy bear soon. And we did right away. That was lucky. But there aren't many explosions going on here, so I'm sad. I'm going to actually show you how to add a tag dynamically from within a script rather than statically here in the editor. So we'll go to the teddy bear spawner script. Here I am in the spawn bear method again, and I'm going to just do some hard coding to make this work really quickly for us. Instead of randomly generating a prefab, I am going to set prefab number to 0. So I'm only going to get yellow teddy bears here. And I will show that that's how it works now. And you will see that I got a green teddy bear and I got a yellow one, but I didn't only get yellow. I'm getting green, and I also got a purple one there. So back in the script, it's really important to save your script before you go test it, because Unity runs the last saved version of your script. And so if you haven't actually saved it over here, you're going to get the old behavior, not the new behavior. Now, when I run, we only get yellow teddy bears, which is exactly what we wanted. Okay, but now nothing is blowing up, and I'd like those yellow teddy bears to blow up. So now I have to actually save the game object that I'm instantiating into the scene so I can modify it. So now I'm saving the yellow teddy bear into this teddy bear variable after I instantiate it, so that I can set its tag equal to C4 teddy bear. So I'm actually applying the tag to this game object when I instantiate it in the scene, rather than applying the tag to the prefab in the editor. So this doesn't actually tag the prefab yellow teddy bear, it only tags this current teddy bear, this instance of the yellow teddy bear prefab in the scene. So now when I run the game, we only get yellow teddy bears, and they get destroyed pretty quickly because we're spawning between 1 and 2 seconds, and our timer is running in the destroyer script every second. So we've seen how we can add a tag to a prefab in the editor, like we did in the purple teddy bear, and we've also seen how we can tag a game object from within a script, so we can dynamically apply a tag as well. To recap, in this lecture we learned that we can tag prefabs and game objects so that we can do tag-specific processing within our scripts.